Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most controversial, fascinating, and infamous figures in Roman history, Emperor Nero. His name has become synonymous with tyranny, decadence, and madness. But was Nero truly the monster history paints him as, or just a victim of powerful propaganda? From boy emperor to alleged arsonist, patron of the arts to murderer of his own mother, Nero's life was nothing short of dramatic. Sit back as we unravel the story of a man who ruled the Roman Empire and may have watched it burn. Nero was born Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus on December 15, 37 AD, in Antium, a coastal town not far from Rome. His mother, Agrippina the Younger, was one of the most ambitious women in Roman history. She was the sister of Emperor Caligula and niece of Emperor Claudius. When Claudius became emperor, Agrippina set her sights on becoming empress and mother to the next ruler. She married Claudius, her own uncle, in a strategic political move. Then she convinced him to adopt her son, Nero, making him an heir to the throne ahead of his own biological son, Britannicus. In 54 AD, Claudius mysteriously died, most likely poisoned by Agrippina herself. At just 16 years old, Nero became emperor. His rise to power was entirely orchestrated by his ruthless mother, and at first, she ruled alongside him from behind the scenes. But as Nero grew into his role, he started to push back. Guided initially by wise advisors like Seneca and Burrus, Nero's early reign was marked by relative stability. He reduced taxes, banned capital punishment, and even championed public entertainment and the arts. The Roman people, at least for a time, adored him. Yet, the seeds of destruction had already been sown. Agrippina expected to control Nero forever, but as he gained confidence, her influence waned. When Nero began an affair with a freedwoman named Agrippina disapproved, loudly. She reminded him constantly that his power came from her. But Nero was tired of her interference. At just 21, he made a drastic decision: his mother had to go. The first attempt on her life was almost comically theatrical. Nero arranged for a self-sinking boat to take her out to sea. The mechanism failed. Agrippina swam to shore and survived. Embarrassed and desperate, Nero tried again, this time more directly. In 59 AD, he ordered his men to murder her in her villa. According to the historian Tacitus, when the assassins approached, Agrippina reportedly said, "Strike the womb that bore him." Killing his mother shocked Rome. Even in a society familiar with political bloodshed, matricide crossed a sacred line. Nero began to unravel. Guilt, paranoia, and his thirst for absolute control would dominate the rest of his reign. After his mother's death, Nero gave up any pretense of being a traditional Roman emperor. He saw himself not as a ruler, but as an artist. He took up acting, poetry, singing, and even chariot racing. Nero built theaters and performed in public, something considered scandalous for a Roman of his status. He forced senators and nobles to attend his endless performances, where leaving early was not an option. Nero fancied himself a revolutionary artist in a rigid society. But Rome didn't want an emperor who sang while wearing a toga soaked in perfume. They wanted a general, a leader, a Caesar. And then came the Great Fire. In 64 AD, a massive blaze consumed much of Rome. It burned for 6 days and 7 nights, destroying homes, temples, and entire districts. Rumors spread quickly. Nero had started the fire himself to clear land for his golden palace, the Domus Aurea. Did Nero fiddle while Rome burned? There were no fiddles back then, but the story persists. Ancient sources suggest he was miles away in Antium when the fire began. Still, public outrage was intense. To deflect blame, Nero scapegoated a small, unpopular sect, the Christians. He subjected them to horrific tortures and executions, making them human torches for his garden parties. It was the first major persecution of Christians in history. As Nero spiraled deeper into paranoia, his grip on power weakened. He executed his wife Octavia, then married Poppaea Sabina, whom he later kicked to death while she was pregnant. He killed his closest advisors, including Seneca. Even minor criticisms were met with torture and death. The Senate feared him. The army began to doubt him. And the provinces? They saw opportunity. In 68 AD, Gaius Julius Vindex, a governor in Gaul, led a rebellion. He was soon joined by Galba, another powerful military leader in Spain. Support for Nero crumbled quickly. His once loyal Praetorian Guard abandoned him. The Senate declared him a public enemy. Alone, deserted, and hunted, Nero fled Rome. Hiding in a villa outside the city, he realized his fate. He paced, he begged, but no one would help. Finally, with soldiers closing in, Nero took his own life. His last reported words were, "Qualis artifex perio." What an artist dies in me. He was 30 years old. With his death, the Julio-Claudian dynasty, the line of emperors descended from Julius Caesar and Augustus, came to an end. What followed was a year of chaos known as the Year of the Four Emperors. Nero's legacy is a mess of contradictions. Ancient historians like Tacitus and Suetonius paint him as a monster, while some modern scholars argue he was more complicated. A man caught between the expectations of empire and his own desires for expression and freedom. Was he a tyrant? A tragic artist? A madman? Or a product of impossible circumstances? What's undeniable is this: Nero's life was anything but dull. His reign, his crimes, and his myth have echoed through the centuries, proof that in Rome, even death couldn't erase infamy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Until next time, Ave ac Vale.